Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Ify Space. So today I'll be talking about another medium through which you can actually relocate to Malta, and this is called the Nomad visa. I think Nomad is actually applicable in everywhere in Europe. Okay, so I'll be explaining to you in details eligibility, what is required, what is expected, and what you actually have access to if you are on this visa. Okay, so stay tuned till the end. So first of all, I would like to say a big thank you to everyone who, like, the love on my last video has been surprising. Let's say surprising. Yeah, it's been very overwhelming. The emails, the responses, is I never expected it at all. As in, of course, I was expecting some sort of response because I know a lot of people are looking to relocate to Malta, but then the love has been good. Today alone, see, I have like three different interviews, or let's say 3 different meetings today alone. So my off days, I try as much as possible to fix my meetings on those days. At the end of the day, the end goal, like I mentioned in my other video, is just to actually see people, as in see those who have gone through me, like arrive in Malta, live a very successful life in Malta, achieve their dreams in Malta. Like seriously, it is really like everything I try to do, I like to put in a lot of a lot of passion in it. Like if I am not dedicated, or if I am actually not in this 100%, I would not even want to try and error. It would be my joy to actually see other people achieve their dreams as a result of a very successful, seamless process. Okay, I mean, I've spoken with a lot of people who have really even impacted, I have actually learned from as well. So it's a win-win situation for every one of us. Okay, so let me not get carried away, okay, by that. So today I'll just be talking about Nomad visa, like I mentioned before. Just in case you are hearing any funny noise on the background, that is Malta for you. There's construction going on somewhere. All right, so first of all, I mean, Nomad, I'm sure a lot of us know what Nomad is, but let me just say, just for the benefit of those who are aware, so Nomad are people who they do not kind of have a fixed location, right? They move from place to place based on season, based on a lot of factors. I feel it's actually a very cool lifestyle to live. Like you just move from, but it's not easy when you have like family to keep moving from one place to the other, right? A lot of us need some sort of stability. But at some point in my life, I'm sure I would like to explore that option. I'll just live here for like 6 months, move to another place for 1 year, and then that's it. So Nomad visa, like I said, it's for you to be eligible to relocate here using the Nomad visa. The summary of it all is that you need to actually be able to prove that you can work from Malta, from anywhere in the world, from your home country, basically. So you have your job you have your business or your job or your work or whatever in one country. So far you can prove that, oh, okay, I can actually still do my job anywhere in the world, especially in this case in Malta, without any disruption or anything. Then that's fine. That is as simple as that. Okay, however, there are of course minimum requirements that you need to meet to be able to relocate through this medium, right? So like I said, there are 3 categories. The website is actually nomad.residency malta.gov.mt. That's the website there, right? So basically there are 3 categories. That you're working for an employer, right? You have like a contract of, you can provide a work contract, right, detailing your job description and everything really, right? And or you're a partner or whatever in a foreign country, and you can do your business or do whatever it is from another country. Or the third option is if you're a freelancer. Okay, so any of these 3 categories, the most important requirement that you need to be able to prove, so 2,700 euros monthly income, right? So your statement of account should show that at least this amount. Then also you must have like a valid travel document, health insurance, and proof of property, either you're renting or purchasing. You don't have to purchase, right? And of course, they'll just do like a random verification check. All right, so this is like the minimum requirement that you need to meet. Like if you do not have any of these, if you don't fall into any of these categories, or you do not earn this amount monthly, or you cannot, let me say, prove that you have this amount monthly, then don't worry, don't stress yourself, okay? Right, so this is a checklist for a new application for residence permit. Obviously you would fill the form as the main applicant. So the beauty about having a nomad visa is that you can come along with your family if you meet that requirement. You can come along with your children and your spouse immediately, unlike students where you have to work and then find a job before your family will join you, or unlike where you have a job, like if you're coming through work permit, you have to come first, get your ID card, then apply for family reunification for your family. For nomad visa, you're applying for yourself, you're applying for your family, and you're moving immediately together, really, okay? So obviously you have the form 1A form that you need to fill, and of course if you are dependent, right, that particular form needs to be filled as well. So in case you are self-employed, you need to submit, obviously, like I said, a contract of employment showing obligations, describing your work duties, your role, and it needs to be stated also that the employer has to show proof that you can work from anywhere regardless of where you are located, okay? If you are self-employed, obviously you need to provide a bank statement in this case. If it's even in this first case, obviously you need statement of account, but here you need to show your bank statements needs to show, of course, your name, and you need to provide certificate of incorporation, share register must be provided, right? And the statement of account has to be like 3 months. It needs to be valid for 3 months. As a freelancer, you need to also show some sort of contract, right, that shows the kind of service received and the kind of service you provided and the rates at which you were paid. Other documents you need is a CV, CV detailing your qualifications, your experience, everything really. Bank statement, last 3 months bank statement so the main applicant has to provide a bank statement, right? If you're applying for your spouse alongside, you need to provide a marriage certificate, okay? 1 copy is, your spouse doesn't have to provide that as well when she's applying, right? So those who are not married, I think they need to provide some sort of really ongoing relationship for more than 2 years, provide utility bills, agreements, blah blah. Just get married and make your life easier. Birth certificate of every family member accompanying you. In this case, your dependents, right? I think you can even actually your parents as well. I think your parents would qualify as dependents if I'm correct. Affidavits where possible, especially for dependents who are over 18 years old, right? Aside your spouse. So if you have a child that is over 18 years old, you need to provide some sort of affidavit, okay? After you submit those documents, they will provide an approval in principle, okay? So after the approval in principle, you need to then provide proof of accommodation and health insurance, covering the period of minimum of 1 year. Not a travel insurance policy, because usually there's travel insurance policy that is required when you're traveling for visa, when you're applying for your visa. After you get the approval, you have to send your passport. So there's this process that they call the premium visa application. Since we don't have an embassy in Nigeria in this case, other countries where there's a Maltese embassy, it's different. But if it's Nigeria or most places in North Africa, West Africa, in Africa, that do not have an embassy, you have to send your visa, your passport down to Malta for them to stamp it, and then once you get it, you arrive in Malta, you apply for your residence permit. The residence permit is valid for just 1 year, and it is always subject to renewal every year, okay? However, there are a few things that I would like to point out with respect to the Nomad visa. Number 1 is that you cannot work in Malta if you are on that visa. So both yourself and initially I thought actually your dependents could work, but if you are on that visa, you cannot work in Malta. Not you or your spouse or your children. I mean, it is expected that, oh, you're a big boy, you are self-sufficient. Either, I mean, if you're self-employed, you're self-sufficient, or you have a very, very good job that already like pays you and stuff, right? So you cannot, no matter, even though you are super qualified and all. And I think from experience, like people who come here on the Nomad visa, they're actually professionals, like very high skilled people, right? So even though you find that perfect job in Malta, you cannot work, right? I think even though you find a job, I think you have to kind of leave and then apply for work sponsorship. Let me just see if I can finish, regardless of the noise. This is actually one of the discouragements. See what one of the things we face when recording videos. Well, so from what I've just checked, if you are on a Nomad residence permit, I think you can switch. However, you cannot hold both the Nomad visa status and a single permit status. Single permit is the status you have when you work in Malta as a non-EU. Okay. Another thing to also note is that so with a Nomad visa, like I said, you cannot work in Malta. It is expected that your current job is still valid, and it is expected that you would live based on you are living here based on your current employment in another foreign country. When I started this video, there was no noise, everyone was quiet, and all of a sudden they decide to drill what I do not know. In fact, I'm going to continue this video so you see the realities of living in Malta. Yes, let me continue. Okay, so I'll just raise my voice a bit. So you cannot work, you do not have access to free health care, your children will not have access to free education, you have to pay school fee even in a government school, right? You do not pay taxes actually in Malta, because obviously wherever you're coming from you'll be paying taxes there, so you do not need to pay taxes here in Malta. But basically you do not have access to anything free, right? You're just literally still working there, but you're just living here, of course, living the better life, living in Europe. You have access to anywhere in Europe, right? And one very good thing about the Nomad visa is that, especially for those looking to relocate from wherever they are located, it is like a very good platform through which you can, I'll try and say how I can suppress this noise. Well, it's a very good platform through which you can relocate to Malta, and then from Malta you can easily apply for jobs in anywhere across Europe, really, and move. So far you are already in Europe, it's very easy to find a job and move to the other country, to be honest. Okay, so it's a very good platform to actually relocate, and then from there you could decide to spread your wings. Okay, right, so that's it about the Nomad visa, really. I hope this has been helpful. If you need more information, you can go on residencymalta.gov.mt. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, and see you in my next video.